Well, hello, Dumpsterinos and Frugalistas. It's coffee time. We're going to sit back and have a little chat. We have a lot to catch up on. It's been a long time since we've talked. So get your coffee, get your tea, get your cocoa, get your lemon water, get your scotch on the rocks with a twist. Whatever you drink, go get it. So much to talk about. First off, I want to thank several viewers who have sent me really nice gifts in the mail, and I have been wanting to write thank you notes and send them out, but I'm so disorganized and overwhelmed that I can't find my thank you notes. Well, I can find the notes. I can't find the matching envelopes is the problem. And my mother would not allow one of her own to send out thank you notes without the appropriate matching envelope. So I'm going to say thank you here and share with you what people got. But please, people, don't spend money on us. Don't send us anything more because you're too generous and you're too nice and you've been too nice to us for too long. And if you sent me something and I didn't thank you, I'm really, really sorry. Email me about that. Give me your address. I'll send you a proper thank you note. I'll find those envelopes. But anyway, first off, thank you to Marianne. Marianne sent me bean seeds, Chinese red noodle bean seeds. I've never grown them before, and I've seen people on YouTube grow them, so I'm very excited about them. They're these they hang down, like these really long, wacky-looking beans, and my understanding is when you cook them up, they taste just like green beans, and I feel like one long bean, like cut up, would be a full serving of beans on somebody's plate. So I'm super excited to plant those next spring. Thank you very much for thinking of me. And also very helpful because I just realized that the seeds I saved from my green beans, they all got moldy. I let so many beans stay on the plants to go to seed, and then I collected them, and I let them kind of just sit on a paper towel for a while. I thought they were dry enough. I put them in a baggie, and they got all moldy. None of my other seeds got moldy. Even my cantaloupe seeds. I don't know. So it's great to get some bean seeds, and thank you so much for thinking of me. Number 2, thank you to Jennifer, who sent me, and this was a while ago. I am so sorry this is taking me so long. She sent me these. This is so freaking adorable. It's from a chicken feed bag. And it's made into, with handles, a reusable shopping bag, because in our state, New Jersey, they outlawed the single-use plastic bags back in May. And we always forget to bring bags with us when we go to the store. And this, not only is this just so helpful and handy because I need these bags, but I think the chicken on it is really cute. And then the fact that it's recycled from a real chicken feed bag, that's just adorable. And she sent me also some just plain bags so I could figure out, good luck, Frugal Mommy, on that one. I could figure out how to sew them myself. I think this is like really nicely done. It's got edges and folded. This is fantastic. So thank you so much for the bags. That is delightful. Now check out this book, Beth in Carson City, Nevada. Thank you so much. She sent this to me as a birthday gift. Look at this, Mini Farming, Self-Sufficiency on a Quarter Acre, Saving, Selecting, and Buying Seeds, Maintaining and Improving Soil, Compost, Crop Rotation, and Timing, Using Organic Methods, Canning, Freezing, and Dehydrating, and more. This is like the most perfect book for me. I'm so excited to read this. And, it's funny, I just actually opened it yesterday because it was from Amazon, and I had a bunch of stuff I'd order for the kids for Christmas from Amazon, and I just thought this was like something I'd ordered. So I had all these Amazon packages just kind of shoved off to the side, and I was opening them up yesterday and doing some Christmas wrapping, and I opened this, and I was like, Mini Farming? That looks just like my type of thing, but I don't remember buying that. And then I thought, did I get drunk and like drunk shop and buy this? I don't remember doing that either. And then I thought, well, did Frugal Daddy get this for me? And it's a Christmas present, but it came to me by mistake. But no. And then I looked in the bag and saw the note, and I realized, now it all makes sense. So thank you, Beth, so much. This is awesome. Those are all 3 just like amazing and perfect gifts for Frugal Mommies. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Why is she wearing the Harvard hat? I might have a relative at Harvard. My dad went to Harvard. Oh, he had such good stories. Harvard back in the 1940s. Very elegant back then. Harvard and Harvard Med School he went to. During the Great War. Well, wait, the Great War, isn't that the First World War? It was during the Second World War. Anyway. I don't look good in baseball hats, though, do I? It's sort of weird on me. Where's my crown? Hold on. There we go. Much better. Much more me. This might look better with dark hair. Should I let my dark roots grow out so my crown looks, you know what I mean? Like better contrast. Why is the dog banging on the door to get in? Hold on, I have to let the dog in. Should I make room for you? Do you want to come up on the chair? Come up on the chair. He wants the whole chair to himself. People ask all the time how many cats we have. I can't tell you or I'd be thrown in jail. You know what the deal is with this crown? This is like one of those wedding tiaras that people wear. And we got this, I'm sure we got it out of a dumpster, maybe a thrift store dumpster. I don't remember where we got it. I know we sure as heck didn't pay for it. And it was in its David's bridal, you know, the container it came in. Like somebody obviously got it for her wedding, wore it the one time, and then probably donated it to a thrift store. Yeah, we probably got it in thrift store trash. And it still had the price tag on it. $120 David's bridal sold my crown for. And I guess if you're spending many thousands of dollars on a wedding gown, an extra $120 for your crown doesn't seem like a big deal. But when you just think of this little, I mean, it's pretty and everything, but it's not like they're real diamonds. I mean, it's fake. $120. So I'm planning for all my children to wear this when they get married. So I'm not buying anybody a new crown. What else did we want to do today? We want to do a couple shout outs, okay? We have 2 shout outs, 2 channels that I recommend you take a gander at if you'd like. One is Lisa Telling Life Stories. Lisa is part of the Frugal family. She's a dumpsterino Frugalista. She's one of us. She is us. You've probably seen her make comments. You've probably chatted with her in the comments. Well, Lisa has her own channel, Lisa Telling Life Stories. I'll leave a link to these 2 channels I'm going to mention in the description box below. And I really enjoy Lisa's channel a lot. She's just starting up. She's got over 100 subscribers already, which is really, really good because like when I started, I got 100 subscribers pretty quickly because I just like bullied every person I knew into subscribing to my channel, like every friend and relative. None of them ever watched my videos, but they did subscribe. But she didn't do that. Like these are legit subscribers. But anyway, Lisa tells life stories and does shopping hauls, and she feeds this enormous colony of cats. And she takes care of her husband and her mother-in-law, and she does ASMR videos, which are very like calming and meditative. So check out Lisa. And then the other channel I want to give a shout out to is German Prepper. Hi guys, German Prepper here. German Prepper, don't get confused, because he speaks with a British accent. But he is German, and he's in Germany. So if you're into prepping, if you're following what's going on with the Ukraine situation, the war, the invasion, you know what I mean, the situation. So anyway, if you're following all of that, and if you're a prepper, he gives a great perspective because he's in Europe. And I think the majority of the prepping channels, at least the ones I watch, they're Americans and a few Canadians, and a couple of Brits. And there's one Swede. But it's really American. It's like an American thing predominantly, I think, this idea of doomsday prepping. So anyway, he is in Germany. So we are getting a European perspective, and we are getting much closer to the action kind of perspective because he's right there. And he's growing his channel. And take a look. If you're into prepping, check him out because I enjoy his videos too. 2 more pieces of business I just remembered. First, Jamie, did you get the little red fuzzy guy in the mail? Frugal Daddy said that he sent it. I don't know how long it's been now, a week and a half, 2 weeks, I have no idea. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Then, Manchester, Connecticut. I've got the scarf you ordered. It's finished. Email me or I'll email you. I need your address. I need to be able to send it. I'm not going to be driving through Connecticut anytime soon like I thought I might and deliver it. So let's get that to you before Christmas. We've heated up the coffee. What more can we talk about? I wanted to say thank you and a warm welcome to all our new subscribers. I very much appreciate you subscribing. It amazes me. Honest to God, like when I see my subscription number go up, I'm like, somebody hit the subscribe button. Like a human being on this planet subscribed. It blows my mind that anybody even watches my videos. I'm like, I don't even know how the YouTubers should get millions of views, how they mentally like process that millions of people watch their videos. Like I just can't even conceive of, I can't picture a million people. Like it's just too much. Anyway, it's just mind blowing to me. And I very much appreciate having all the new subscribers. And I thought I would, answer some frequently asked questions, give some background information, because we've got a lot of new people, and a lot of times people don't go back and watch every video in the past. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't just spend the next 6 weeks binge watching all my videos. I don't know why. I have playlists. You could do that if you wanted, but, people don't do that. So then they don't really know, like, what's the deal with these people? Like, who the hell are they? Like, what is all this? And I don't like to, well, it sounds funny for me to say, like, I don't like to be repetitive. I don't like to, answer the same frequently asked questions and do these kind of videos over and over again. I know that sounds funny because our videos are like really repetitive. It's like, oh, they're dumpster diving at Aldi. Well, that's new and different, isn't it? Not really. Frugal Daddy's out diving right now, by the way. I'm kind of like using this time when the house is quiet for us to just chat until he gets home. I've been cleaning all morning. And when I'm finished with the video, I'm going to do some mending. I know, I'm like an old-fashioned grandma. I'm going to do sewing. It was a dark, stormy night in 1964 when little frugal mommy came into the world. No, we don't need to go back that far, but I have mentioned it in videos. I could do like a synopsis of all the videos in the past. Well, obviously, I was born in 1964 because obviously it's like a very cool year to be born. My cohort is very cool. I was born in New York City to a 19-year-old, we're getting into the personal dirt here, so just sit back. To a 19-year-old college student. I've said this before in videos. You might never find that video. It's not a dumpster diving video, obviously, and neither is this. 19-year-old college student, unmarried, in New York. She's from the South. She had a boyfriend. They broke up, and I guess she did kind of like the rebound thing or whatever and hooked up with this guy who was a friend who was married to someone else. This is my birth father. We're talking about my birth parents. I was adopted. These are the people who birthed me. They conveyed me. They brought me into the world so that I could be Hi, Liesel. Look. Liesel, the wonder dog. Let them see your beautiful face. Have you ever seen Liesel's overbite? Let them see your overbite. Oh my God. Sometimes she lays on her back and she has like her overbite hanging out, and we call it upside down fang face. It is so cute. Anyway, so yes, I was adopted, blah, blah. She had a thing with this married guy who was a used car salesman and got pregnant, had me. I don't even know if he knows. Like, I don't know if my birth father knows I exist. Now, the boyfriend that she'd recently broken up with, he offered to marry her and raise this baby, me, which is very nice. And she considered it, apparently. This is all information I got from the adoption agency, I don't know, like 15 years ago, maybe, but without names, non-identifying information. So the boyfriend offered to marry her, and then she eventually said no because she thought this is really not the best way to start a marriage, and opted for adoption. So then I was adopted by my parents, Marilyn and Bob. My dad was a doctor. He is deceased now. My mother is 94. I also have an older brother who is 2.5 years older, also adopted. He's the normal one in the family. I'm the black sheep. In case you couldn't tell, you got the dumpster diving daughter and a sibling. Which one's going to be the black sheep of the family? Could anybody possibly disappoint that old mother more than a dumpster diver? No, he's the successful, normal, charming one. What can I tell you? It's my own drummer. I'm marching to the beat of my own drummer, or my own drum. My own drummer, my own personal drummer. You know, Neve, my little Nevie is taking drumming at school, and Autumn's taking piano. Thank God they have music lessons there for free. Grew up in New Jersey, college in New Hampshire, da-da-da. I have 2 master's degrees. I don't know if everybody knows this. Oh, let's just talk about me. I got a Master of Divinity at Princeton Theological Seminary in, I don't know, like 93, I think I graduated, or 92. Yeah, 92. And then I got married in 93 to Chris, who is my ex-husband, who is a plant ecologist, and he is a professor at the University of Georgia. I already had my MDiv, but I wasn't going into church work because I didn't feel called to the pulpit. And we got down there, and Chris said, you know, Amy, you're about to turn 30. You better figure out what you want to do when you grow up. Now, the thing is, I've never figured it out, and I'm getting close to 60. But anyway, I was like, okay, yeah, sure. So I looked through the grad school bulletin for the University of Georgia, and I came to social work. And I didn't even know what social workers did, really, other than Child Protective Services. But I was like, ooh, social work. That seems like a good way to serve God by serving humanity. Right? Because I was more godly back then. So I enrolled in that program, and I did the first year of my MSW at the University of Georgia. Then my ex-husband decided he wanted to be my ex-husband, not my husband. And I said, fine, let's just get divorced. Fine. And we were married like for 2 years. We had dated for 4. And I felt like, oh my God, I've just spent like 6 years trying to convince you to want to be with me. And if you don't want to be with me, like, just like, forget it. He and I always had a very strong friendship aspect to our relationship. And we stayed friends. I mean, we're not really in touch now, but I could call him or email him if I wanted to, and, you know, we would chat. We stayed in touch pretty well for quite a while, but, you know, you go on with your lives. After he and I split up, of course, I had the requisite rebound boyfriend, and, oh my God, just like my birth mother. And yes, I also got pregnant by my rebound boyfriend. God, history repeats itself. So anyway, my rebound boyfriend, he was from South Carolina. He's from Spartanburg, South Carolina. And he and I met down in Georgia, and we moved to California together. And we were idiots. We just thought, we can live anywhere. Like, we don't have to stay in Georgia. I mean, I was in Georgia because my husband was a professor down there, but we could go anywhere. Let's go to California. California, that's the place we ought to be. So we loaded up the truck, and we moved to Ventura. We only lived out there for about a year. We were not fabulously successful at anything out there. I'm surprised we didn't kill each other. I eventually got a job at a private social service agency that took the overnight and weekend child abuse referrals. Like, their child abuse agency didn't take their own after-hours referrals. Like in New Jersey, child welfare employees take all the referrals, like morning, noon, and night, and weekends. But out there, they had it contracted with this agency. So we would take those referrals and also man all the crisis hotlines, like the suicide hotline, like with zero training. And I did save someone once. I hope she has continued to live and didn't commit suicide later, but like that night I saved her. You know, domestic violence hotlines, all that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the point is, out in California, that is where I had my first child, who's the one that doesn't want, you know, to ever be on my videos, even though I've asked her, because, like, she's like me, but so much better than me in every possible way. Like, she kind of looks like me, but much prettier, and she has a sense of humor like mine, but better. She's just better. She's like Amy 2.0. She's just so much better, or 10.0, or 12, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know technology, obviously. So I had my little baby out there. Oh, also, I wanted to tell you also, while we were out there, besides me having that social service job, and he ended up working in a Starbucks and a Panda Express, we were also extras in movies, because anybody can sign up to be an extra. And yeah, we were in a few things that you would see. Well, I didn't go for the Boogie Nights shoot. I didn't go for that shoot because it was an overnight shoot, and I felt like sick from being pregnant, and I was like, no way do I want to have them put me in like a light blue satin, you know, those dresses people wore like in the 70s, and they're like, you can just see every like roll and bump, and And that, anyway, because that took place in the 70s, Boogie Nights. It was about the porn industry in the 70s. And the scene that we were called for was when Marky Mark is winning some kind of like porn Academy Award or porn, and like an award show for the porn industry. So anyway, he's winning this award, and that's what we were going to. And so we were going to have to be dressed like 70s people at this event, at this awards program, hence like the clothes that I was like, I don't think so. But my daughter's father went to that one. We were in the Leave It to Beaver movie. We were in Jingle All the Way, which a lot of people have seen because it's a Christmas movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think it's really pretty stupid, actually, but you do see me in it at one point when they're in the toy store trying to get the Turbo Man doll. There I am, red earmuffs. And no, I didn't meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're not allowed to talk to Arnold Schwarzenegger when you're just an extra, because you are like as valuable as a cockroach when you're an extra. But I did meet Sinbad, who is very nice, like very, very nice and friendly, like a normal guy. Anyway, we did Leave It to Beaver. Oh, we did an infomercial for the greatest love songs of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And that was on TV, on those kind of channels that have those kind of commercials for a while. Like, I remember friends saying, oh my God, I saw you on this commercial. And I was like, yeah. Anyway, great career there. So when our little baby was about 4 months old, we moved back to New Jersey. Then I finished my MSW at Rutgers, right? And then I worked for the state of New Jersey for about 19 years as a child welfare social worker. And I had not ever planned into going into child welfare. I actually wanted to work with the homeless. And when I was in Georgia, I worked in a homeless shelter. But the child welfare agency of the state of New Jersey paid for my tuition for the last year of my master's in social work. So I was obligated to come work for them for a year. And then once I was working for them, it was like, well, I have a job. It's convenient to my home. I've got a child to raise. I've got benefits now. I've got to pay a mortgage. Yeah, I mean, it was a job, right? It's a very stressful job, child welfare. It's kind of scary when you think about everything that's at stake when you're working with families, in these just terrible situations. So anyway, how long ago did I meet Frugal Daddy? People always ask how we met. And I joke that I met him in a dumpster, but I didn't actually. Well, whenever we met 15 years ago, I don't know. Who knows? We met online dating, eHarmony. We met through eHarmony. And there you go. Here we are years later. It worked out. The twins, the children that you sometimes see in the videos, not as much now as in the early days, because now they're just like, I'm like, do you want to be in the video? Do I have to brush my hair? Yes. No. That kind of thing. When they were littler, they were in the videos a lot. So they are twins. They're not identical. Neve, Neave, which is an Irish name. And if I had gone with the non-anglicized spelling, it would be Niamh. Crazy Celtic spelling. Love it, but I swear, people have enough trouble with Neve, with it rhyming with and being spelt like leave, and weave rhymes with Steve. Imagine if we had given her the Niamh spelling here in the United States and Ireland, people would have gotten it. But anyway, and the other twin is Autumn. Autumn's the taller one. And I had them twins when I was 47. And I know I did a whole video on having twins geriatrically. It's a geriatric pregnancy, which they love to remind you of all the time when you're old and pregnant. And it's funny, I was thinking about this the other day. That was considered a high-risk pregnancy. A pregnancy at that age is considered high risk, and a twin pregnancy is considered high risk. So twins and old mother, high risk. And I just really don't feel like the OBGYN I went to at that time for the babies gave me like all the amazing love and support and concern that you should like me. I know it's hard to imagine. He was some like highfalutin OB. See, okay, you want to hear the story? Oh my God, the video is going to go on forever. Two of you still watching, so let's just keep chatting. So I went to my regular OB down in Princeton. And so we're having my first meeting, like, okay, I'm pregnant, you know, like I took the pregnancy test, da, 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 da. So we're talking about, you know, pregnancy and delivery. And one says that I can have coffee while I'm pregnant because he wants me to have a beautiful pregnancy that I'm like very happy and comfortable. And I was like, happiness and comfort have nothing to do with parenting. Like, I am not drinking coffee while I'm pregnant. So strike one against you, because you're supposed to be a doctor. And then he just started talking about, and then we'll schedule your C-section, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I don't want a freaking C-section. I want to have these babies naturally, because I am Mother Nature, right? I even have the crown. And so I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds great. And then I was like, no. Okay, I got to find another doctor, because I'm just like, no. Like, he didn't even ask me what my plans were for delivery. It was just like, we'll just schedule the C-section. And the problem is, I think people going through med school these days and in the last several decades aren't even taught like what to do with multiple births other than cut the woman open and take the babies out. And like, that's ridiculous. So my father was still alive at that time. He was like 90, but he was still actually working as a doctor at Morristown. Well, I call it Morristown Memorial Hospital because that's what it was called back when I was young, and I was a candy striper there, and he was, you know, young in his practice. It has a different name now because you know how these hospitals are bought up by these big conglomerates and they're all like part of the blah blah health system or whatever, but it's Morristown Memorial, which is a great hospital. I just want to mention, when Chris Christie, our former governor, had COVID, that's the hospital he went to. That's the hospital where my dad worked, and obviously that's where I was a candy striper, which it's known for that. Like, is there an OB up there that you can recommend who would know how to deliver twins the pushy out kind of way, not the cutty open kind of way? So he asked around and got this recommendation from this guy. Right? So I go to this doctor, the one who I felt like did not really give me the love I needed as a high-risk geriatric pregnancy. And you know what, I should have known too, as soon as I saw this guy. Like, you're not supposed to judge by looks, obviously. None of us want to be judged by our looks. But he did have like this feathered Farrah Fawcett hair, which I was like, for a grown man, for a doctor? Like, what's the deal? Like, I don't know you. But anyway, fame was that he was the OB for the New York Giants, which makes no sense because that is a football team full of men. But I guess for the players' wives, they have like a team doctor. I don't know. Like, that doesn't even make sense to me, but whatever. So maybe he's used to dealing with like these celebrity football wives. So like having to deal with just this was not, you know, I don't know. And I do remember one time I went to an appointment with him, and I had on my PETA, P-E-T-A, you know, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals shirt. And it's just this gray t-shirt with this picture of a cow. And then under it says, eat no meat. Or it says, eat no cow, or whatever. Eat no, and then a picture of a cow. So I was saying something about wanting to have a natural delivery. And he kind of snidely said, like, well, yeah, I could tell. So, like, because I was wearing this kind of like vegan, like I'm this hippie kind of like. Anyway, he's the one I stuck with, right? Because he does know how to deliver twins the old-fashioned way, meaning that if they're not lined up correctly, which mine weren't, like one was head down when it came time to deliver, but the other was sideways. Like, he knows how to like get up in there and turn them around and everything. But what happens when I go into labor, it's a Friday, he's off that weekend, so he's not the one who delivers anyway. So I have some other doctor who's on call who does a C-section. All that driving up there for nothing. To hear the story of the day of their birth. Oh my God, this video is never going to end. The new subscribers are like, what the hell? We did not ask for your freaking life story. I know I'm supposed to be answering frequently asked questions about dumpster diving. How do you know if the meat is good? You smell it. Meat will tell you when it's not good anymore. It makes it very clear, and your nose knows. There's a frequently asked question. Delivery, and then we'll end the video. And if you want to hear more, we'll pick up on the life story another time when I've got a cup of coffee. So I'm still going to work. It was supposed to be my last day of work before I went on maternity leave. And I was supposed to have like 5 weeks off before the delivery. And at that point, Frugal Daddy was working for Merck. He made pharmaceuticals. Like, he made vaccines. He, like, literally was the guy all suited up in the hazmat outfit in the sterile room, like, making, like, the flu vaccine that then gets put into your arm. So he was off early to go to work. He left at like 6, right? So I get up for time, like 7, to start to get ready for work and to take my daughter to school. She was in high school, my big girl. And I got up and my water broke. And, well, you all know what that's like. And I didn't know what that was like because with my older daughter, that didn't happen like that. So it's just like you're wet all of a sudden and you're like, oh, I guess what that is. So I'm like, I'm not supposed to go into labor now. I have 5 weeks. I'm supposed to get my maternity leave so I can clean the house and nest and make a lot of casseroles and put them in the freezer. But no, it happened that day. So I get up and I go to my cell phone and I call Frugal Daddy to say, you got to come back from work and take me to the hospital. And I hear his phone ringing elsewhere in the house. It's like the one day he forgot to take his cell phone with him to work. So then I called Merck and got a hold of their security department, and then we had to have like a security guy go to find him and tell him, like, your wife's in labor, you got to go home. And the security person did that, and he didn't believe them. He thought his coworkers were like playing a prank on him, but no, it was real. So anyway, finally he came home, and I asked my older daughter, like, do you want to come with us to the hospital, or do you want to go to school? Like, you don't have to go to school. What do you want to do? And we had to pass her school anyway to go to the hospital, but like, what do you want to do? And she's like, oh, I totally don't want to go to the hospital with you. I want to go to school. Whatever, okay. So we drop her and then we go up to the hospital, and must have gotten there like 10 in the morning, and they brought me in for the C-section like 4 in the afternoon. Like, I don't know if they realized how actively in labor I was, because they were just kind of like ignoring me. Again, where is the love for the high-risk geriatric pregnancy? I don't know. 47, when I had those little babies. And a lot of times, I guess the reason I was even thinking of talking about them and all that was because people a lot of times think they are our grandchildren. And no, we're not raising our grandchildren. They are, in fact, our babies that we just had like really late in life, amazingly enough. Miracle babies. And my big girl was 5 questions can we address to make this somewhat worthwhile? Time. Have you ever gotten sick from dumpster food? All the time. We have never gotten sick from dumpster food. Not even like a tumble, not a little touch of diarrhea. Of course, I'm like lifelong constipated, so I wouldn't probably even notice a touch of diarrhea. I would welcome a touch of diarrhea because maybe never ever gotten sick from dumpster food, because with dumpster food, you know it comes from a dumpster, right? So it's on you to assess everything. You don't make any assumption. Like when you go get hamburger meat at the store and you pay for it, you pretty much assume it's still okay. You would be surprised if you brought it home and it wasn't okay. But with the dumpster food, like, you don't make any assumptions. So you have to check everything. You look at it. Is it the right color? Is it slimy? Slime's not good. You smell it. Smell tells a lot. So special digestive systems. In fact, I think I've got a touch of the IBS. Like, I do not have a great digestive system. And so, we don't eat things that have gone bad and still be okay with it. Like, we're just like everybody else. Like, we don't have stomachs of iron, believe me. Food poisoning several times in my life, and it was no fun. If you've ever had it, and if you've never had it, you don't want it, because it is like your body is taken over by demons. Like, you have no control of anything. I remember one time just kind of laying on the bathroom floor, like on my side, and just like throwing up. And the toilet was nearby. I couldn't get all the way over to it. And I just sort of thought, I'm just going to lay here and just let it happen. I'm just going to let my body expel all this. I'm going to try to think about something else and just lay here, and then I'll clean it all up when it's all done. It's like, it's, if you've had food poisoning. I've had food poisoning from restaurant food. I pretty much pooped myself in public once because of food poisoning from restaurant food. I have gotten food poisoning from other people's cooking. It's surprising, not from my own cooking, because I'm not the best cook in the world, but I have never poisoned anybody. And you can see if a strawberry is moldy, you don't eat that. You can see that a lot of perfectly good food gets thrown out, which all of you who dumpster dive know. You know this. You know this. And it's true. And it's very wasteful. And it's very frustrating when there are people who struggle so much to put food on the table, especially with this inflation. And if he came home with a dive, we could end this video. If he would just get home. I swear, I don't know what he does when he goes out. I mean, I know what he does when I'm with him when we dive, but when I go dive, I can probably hit 3 Aldis in about 2 hours. And they're not close to each other. Like the Aldi dumpster, and then it's like a half-hour drive, and then another one, a half-hour drive, get home. Like I can get all that done. He goes out for hours, and he'll come back and he'll be like, yeah, I got to dive. And I'm like, one? Like, where have you been all this time? I have no idea. He has some kind of secret life going on, and I don't really care. Because money, whatever he's doing out there, as long as it's free and frugal, whatever. But seriously, what is taking you like 4 or 5 hours? Like, where are you going? I think he just goes to here because, wow, can that woman talk? Thank you for the presents. Shout out to those 2 channels, Lisa Sharing Life Stories and German Prepper. Check them out. If you have other frequently asked questions that you'd like to frequently ask, put them down below in the comments, and next time we chat, I'll try to answer those questions. Until then, you guys take care of yourselves, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, stay in the dumpster, stay out of jail. Oh God, yes, stay out of jail. And stay frugal. What choice do you have?